Bill Gates goes on The View to peddle propaganda on the next pandemic, in quotes. He's predicting the next pandemic will arrive in the next 25 years with a 10% chance it will arrive in the next 4 years. Bill Gates needs to F off. All right, I know a lot of people don't like Bill Gates. I don't even think I like Bill Gates anymore, to be honest. But there's a lot of things that I do like about Bill Gates, okay? And so let's look at this situation. Let's hear what he has to say, and let's just talk about it and see if we can figure out what's really going on here. I have a strong suspicion that this is a fellow righty that probably gets a lot of impressions or just has a lot of fun online, sensationalizing the shit out of everything for attention. We will see. Maybe he's spot on. Maybe he be sensationalizing. Let's find out.
Before COVID, you say you spent the most sleepless nights worrying about pandemics. After COVID, has that changed? And if it has, what keeps you up now? Because we all need to know.
Yeah, the pandemic, sadly, was fairly predictable, and it won't be the last pandemic. The next one could be far more severe. I mean, this one, it killed millions.
Listen, he just said, qualifying word, it could be more severe. This guy knows how to speak, and he made sure to throw in a qualifier in front, so he's not stating something as fact. What a lot of people that sensationalize do is they take away the qualifiers that somebody has very carefully put in place and then now just changes it to say this person was stating something as fact. He said the next pandemic could be more severe. I watched a little bit further into this. I know what he's going to say. What he's going to say is that the one that we had was actually fairly not that bad, which is true. These are true things. Both of these are true. The next one could be worse. That's true. It could be worse. It could not be worse. It's a qualifier. So just keep that in mind. A lot of the righties, a lot of the lefties. All right. As a righty, I'm going to call out my fellow righties that are being sensationalist, and they remove people's qualifiers so they can win argument points.
It was awful. We got the vaccine. You know, actually, President Trump's leadership was a factor in getting that out quickly. And so when I spoke to him, I said, okay, here's some other medical innovations, including a thing called an HIV cure that could be accelerated. So, we should be more prepared, both for a pandemic. I'd say that's still number one.
Nothing he said doesn't make sense at all so far. Okay. Hey, he's talking to Trump. This guy has been he's spent a lot of his money on trying to cure diseases. Like he's spent a lot of money trying to cure malaria and stuff like that. You guys should look into his how do you say that word? Philanthropic work. I don't know how to say it. I'm dumb. But you should look into the stuff that he's done. He's actually done some pretty cool things with trying to help with cures. He's a big cures guy. He's a big cures advocate, okay? And he's the real deal with that stuff. And he's done it so much that he's actually become really knowledgeable with it because he's been focusing so much of his time, like several decades of his time on this actual science. So, and since he was the world's richest man and he just said, I'm going to focus on this. Is he the purest of heart guy? Probably not, dude. I don't think that he is, but I do think that his work in this area is noble. Everything that he said just now makes total sense. Should we accelerate progress on solving HIV? Fuck yeah. Yes, we should. That's true. And he even said Trump was a big reason why we even made a vaccine for the epidemic or pandemic anyways, right? Like nobody wants to admit it. Right, all the lefties don't admit, they're like Trump didn't do it because they just don't want him to have any W's, right? But he did accelerate the progress of that medicine. With the power of his pen, he can accelerate the progress of any medicine. And that's what he was suggesting. He's like, hey, it would be cool if he could do that with HIV too. That's one that Bill Gates has been trying to crack for years. It'd be a big W for Bill Gates. So far, everything that he says, I agree with. There's still a minute left in this video. Let's see what else he has to say.
You can worry about nuclear war. You can worry about AI.
This
There's
sounds like fun.
plenty to worry about. But
do you
overall,
sleep
I'm
at
an
all?
optimist.
Okay.
Well,
No, I mean, it's up to the government to think ahead on behalf of the citizens.
Yes.
So, pandemic, there's a lot that we should be doing that hopefully we'll get our act together before the next one comes. Overall, the innovation in health, both in...
Hold on, I got to read this. But didn't Trump say COVID was a hoax? Yeah, he did. and he made a vaccine. He did both things. Imagine that. Isn't that weird that two things can both exist? Yeah, he said that shit. And he fucking accelerated that vaccine's creation. That's what I should say. He didn't make it. But he with the power of his presidential pen, he made it so and accelerated the progress of developing a vaccine. Okay? Both are true. So like you got to stop that, right? So if someone says Trump accelerated the vaccine and then you just say, but didn't he say it's a hoax? Yeah. So what? We're talking about accelerating the vaccine. Trump says all kinds of crazy shit. Everyone knows that. Why are we bringing that up? It doesn't matter. Your only reason why you're bringing it up is because you want to discredit accelerating the vaccine. He said that crazy shit and accelerated the vaccine. You got to stop that shit. Stop. You got to open your brain.
In the developing countries, the rich world, I love being part of that.
I was reading, though, that you said the next pandemic you are predicting within maybe 25 years. Is that
certainly
accurate?
we'll have one in the next 25 years. There's even some pathogens out there that we're watching over right now. So maybe 10% chance in the next 4 years.
Yeah. I think that, okay, if another pandemic happens in the next 4 years, because that's supposed to happen naturally every 100 years or so, right? So the last one was about 100 years ago. Then we had this one. But guess what? The White House announced that was released from the Wuhan lab. That's where it came from. It came from the Wuhan lab. The timing is super sus. Getting into conspiracy world, that's when I start to wonder, did that shit get leaked on purpose? Did that get leaked on purpose? That's where, I don't know, but I always suspected it. Right? So if another pandemic happens within the next 4 years, somebody released it. Seriously, bro. Yeah, a new pandemic will always happen, especially if someone puts it in the world. Yeah, it could happen. It's supposed to happen once every 100 years. If it happens in 25 years, that would not be good. I would like us to be more prepared. I think that what Bill Gates is saying here is that he thinks that we should be more prepared for these pandemics because they're going to happen again. And he's not wrong. He's not wrong. Nothing he said in here is wrong. And one thing that we got to do as righties is know when a fellow righty is sensationalizing things for internet points like this guy is. Okay? We got to see through that. When you look at what Bill Gates said, what he said is fine. He didn't say anything that's not true. Everything is correct. I agree with everything that he just said. It makes sense. It's not lefty or righty. I just listened to what he had to say. And he says, man, I wish that we put more resources towards solving AIDS. I wish we would be more prepared for the next pandemic that can happen. That's all he's saying. What's wrong with that? Nothing.